This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining. Thank you Torah Anytime for coming out here to record just once again. So really happy to be here. I just want to share a personal story that happened to me recently, and then we'll lead into Tiferet on the sphere account. Any day now, Shavuos is right around the corner. I know we didn't make it. There were some challenges along the way this past couple of weeks. I was actually also in Washington. It was amazing at a conference. So Baruch Hashem, I'm here. I was actually at a different conference somewhere else, and after I spoke, the woman, just about as I was finishing, the woman comes in the door. She said, "We couldn't find the place." So I decided, even though I wanted to start my davening at 10 a.m., I said, you know what, I'm gonna just continue. I'm gonna do the whole thing over again. So from like 9 to 11 straight, Shabbos morning, I was telling the whole class almost all over again. And as I was sitting there, and she's like so happy, and she's beaming, and I'm thinking, one of the reasons I was doing it, especially because a while ago something happened. And this woman had a challenge in her life, and she had approached me, and somehow, I don't know, it's just like a busy time, but like every time is a busy time. But it was like maybe an extra busy time, and I don't know, it just like kind of slipped my mind, and I didn't really help her like I had wanted to. It just like slipped. But how can you it was like pretty big situation. I don't want to go to the details because, maybe one day she'll hear this, and, I don't want it to be known, but I did tell her these things. After the class, I was like, I cannot believe you're so sweet to me. You're so loving to me. And I feel like I wasn't really there for you when you came to me. I feel horrible. I could say every excuse in the world, but I feel like there's no excuse. I made then and there a chata to just, no matter how busy it is, to try not to let things slip. But trust me, things are slipping still since that. It's not been easy, even though I felt so much regret and I felt so determined. And so what happened was I was just blown away by her, because any maybe other person or even myself might have carried a little grudge, maybe not even show up to someone's class that wasn't there for me, or I don't know, the list could have been on and on. But here she was, not taking any kind of grudge against me that I wasn't there. And not only that, totally real and deep and happy with me, and loving me, even though I had, in my eyes, totally failed her or wasn't there for her. So I was thinking, there's a pasuk you could learn from everyone. And I learned such a deep lesson of how beautiful she made me feel, that I wasn't receiving her backside, God forbid, because I wasn't really there for her. I remember after the fact, and she did remind me, what, are you kidding? And she reminded me that I did make it up for her. But I said to her, no matter how much I try to make it for you later, it just, really, I'm sorry. And she totally, I could see, forgave me 100%. It wasn't I forgive you, and inside. You know how sometimes you could see a little bit people? But it was so clear to me that she really forgave me. She so clearly did not have a grudge, and she made me feel beautiful. So I could just imagine so many times, people's experiences with their moments of falling out, and It's like, how could God forgive me? And like, she's human, and with all the frailties of all of our, issues of ego and everything, and I could see she totally forgave. So where did that come from? Hashem, in a sense. Hashem is that forgiving, and this was like a living incarnate of an experience that, please God, we're going to experience with God's forgiveness. So I was around the same time, my husband was telling me a story of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, where there was this little boy that came to the Rebbe kind of struggling with certain issues and wanted guidance, and he was, I guess, a bit heavy-hearted. And the Rebbe actually asked the boy, what do you really love? And he goes, I love artwork. And he says, yeah? So the Rebbe goes into his drawer, takes a picture of a picture, and he shows the boy, you see this picture? Do you know how much money this picture is worth? Millions. And then he showed again the picture, and he said, how much do you think is the picture of the picture worth? So the boy said, I don't know, like 45 cents? So he said, the Rebbe, why is it that it's the same, everything exactly in that picture is in this picture, but why is that picture worth millions and this one may be 45 cents? So of course he said, well, but that's the original. And he goes, but it's still the same exact picture. It's like a perfect exact replica. So then the Rebbe explained, you see this picture of a picture? It is perfect.
A picture of a drawing?
Yeah, a picture of a masterpiece, an artwork, of a picture. Like, yeah. So a picture of like a artwork. How do you call that?
A drawing,
piece,
a masterpiece.
A masterpiece. So he was saying, even though it's exactly, everything's there, but the kishka of the person who did it is not on that paper. But the kishka of the neshama of the person who worked so hard to make the artwork is in the original. And that's what you're paying for. So then the Rebbe actually explained to the boy, a person can do all 613 mitzvahs perfectly, exactly. But there's no life in it. There's no kishka in it. It's just like a copy of this. You're just doing it. But when you have heart-feel feelings, when you're doing a mitzvah, okay, you might not be accomplishing all 613, and you might not, but your kishka's in it. And Hashem sees that you're trying. And He sees that you don't want to, fail, or you want to do it better. And that is what counts so much for Hashem, in Hashem's eyes. So that's beauty. That's really Tiferet. And so there's Chesed she b'Tiferet. And again, I'm giving credit to Edith Schneider in Jerusalem that put this together. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to go into some discussion. Chesed she b'Tiferet. Though on the central pillar of the tree of life leans toward the right, toward the side of Chesed. That means that when tempering the tendency to give and forgive unconditionally with the need for justice, limitations, and severity, one should give more weight to the side of Chesed than to Gvura. They are not balanced 50-50. Chesed shebegvura teaches us that mercy and compassion must come from love, and this should be expressed as much as possible. So normally we know in Torah you're supposed to try to be balanced, with everything except anger. You should run away from the opposite of that trait.
About Tiferet?
And humility. You can go to the very, opposite trait of being really meticulous about being humble. And normally in the spheros, everything is like half-half, balanced. You want a mixture of this and you want a mixture of that, and then it's balanced. But with chesed and gevura, you don't have a balance. You should be more chesedic than gevura. And when you use gevura, it's a little bit on your yetzer hara, it's on your own self-discipline, and even that you should have balance, because if you self-discipline and then too gevuric on yourself, you'll have depression, despair, and everything else on top. So chesed shebitferes is, even in your balancing of chesed and gevura, you should even be more chesedic than the balancing of chesed and gevura, which is tiferes. Do you understand? It's a little confusing, but it shows how much more basically we have to go to the side of chesed, of kindness, and less judgment, and less strictness, and less of the harshness of strictness. And that becomes beautiful, like a masterpiece. Now there's another type of chesed shebitiferes, and that is, because tiferes actually is beauty in and of itself, as on a physical level as well. So beauty and aesthetics are not ends in themselves, but must rise from a sincere and selfless desire to give and to touch the heart of another in a positive and growth-promoting way. So it's not because of anything else that you want to give your kindness in a beautiful way, just for the main purpose of helping the other be touched by your heart, and their heart will be touched, and then that will promote growth by the other, by your beautiful demeanor, by your beautiful kind ways. Then there's gevura shebitiferes, and so we know that sometimes, as she writes here, harmony, which is the essential quality of the particular beauty, which is called tiferes, is the balancing of opposing tendencies. Chesed shebigvura, light and dark, love and fear, all these types of opposing energies, needs compromise. The gvura of mercy is the quality of self-limitation and self-denial. And that is the essential to harmonious and human relationships. So in order for me to be able to be giving and more giving than not giving, meaning to be able to be tiferes, to be more giving, then I have to restrain and self-limit myself and go through some self-denial so that I'm able to then have a harmonious relationship with somebody else. If it's always your way and it's always what you want, and you're not denying some of your ideals and some of your let's say a program and an idea that you want to accomplish or in the relationship, then it's going to be very challenging, because you always want it your way. So where can you find in your life that you give some restraint, deny yourself certain pleasures, deny yourself certain ideals in order for the relationship to work? For instance, I know Rabbi Jacobskin gave many lessons, and I remember saying, because that's what I believe, and I felt like it from a very, as a young mother, I'd have certain ideals, but I'd have to compromise in a certain way just to bond with my children and make them happy, even though I would never, want to take them to an ice cream shop, and just feed them poison, and especially if it was like a birthday party or whatever. Like, it was so hard for me. It was like, but I would have to, even though it was so important to me too, not to be a fanatic, and then they would be like so over crazy with what I was trying to restrict them for their own health reasons, especially because like, whatever, they were really sensitive like myself to, some people eat, all kinds of stuff and they don't throw up and they don't get sick so often or fall to the ground with stomach cramps and aching, or whatever. As at any which way, like I can remember so many times where I had to deny like my ideal and my goal for family or other, situation for that. Then there is Tiferet Shebitferes. And Tiferet Shebitferes is to cultivate a love for a fellow Jew and human beings. One must feel compassion and empathy for each person's situation. And this is the only possible to be able to really achieve the goal that you want in the relationship. If you train yourself to see the beauty in each soul and each life, then you'll be able to have compassion and empathy. So Tiferes is also compassion and empathy.
How do you say here?
And the only way you're going to be able to feel compassion and empathy for another person is if you dig deep to see the beauty in them. Find one trait that's like stunning and something you can learn from, something you appreciate in them. And when you start looking and paying attention to that one good thing, then you'll be able to have an overall better connection and empathy with them. So then there's Tiferet Shebitferes, and this is a different type of angle on the same mixture of this middah. Beauty is the perfect harmonization of all other midot. Only when there is beauty and peace within can one enjoy the beauty and peace without. This is the beauty that is found within beauty. If you're too strict and harsh with yourself, and too judgmental, and always picking on yourself that you don't do this right and you do that, so you're so in the habit of doing that, then it spills over, and that's how you're going to be with other people. So the more you don't fault find yourself, the more you won't fault find the other. The more you really find the beauty within, the more you'll be able to find the beauty within the other. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Remember? Kamocha. Love yourself, see the beauty of who you are, and then you can love other people. Netzach Shebitiferes. It is the beauty which inspires trust in God, that touches the heart and awakens its sense of aesthetic. Let my heart be open to the truth. Let it enter, take root, and be victorious, as manifest by deepening of my trust in God. Let falsehood pass through and leave no impression. That says it all. We should, Netzach is enduring, and what is enduring? Truth. I want what's enduring. I want truth to be able to literally banish all falsehood and let me be victorious. And when I'm victorious and I hold on to the truth in this way, then that is beautiful. And I am, and you are, and we all are beautiful. Hod Shebitiferes, my life shines with splendor of Hashem's light as I devote myself to compassion and strive for harmony, both with and without. Hod, remember, is splendor, glory. So the beauty within me is really Hashem, and His light is shining through me. The more I'm compassionate, because Tiferet is also compassionate, the more I strive for harmony, then God's splendor shines on me. Yesod Shebetiferes, the foundation of beauty is truth. This is the inner beauty and point of godliness within all things. This is the foundation stone which must be sought in all the circumstances of my life. To the extent that I fixate on outer beauty, to the extent I'm seduced by the Sheker HaChen of King Shlomo's Eshes Chayil. Whoa, women, wake up! How many times I see women, they feel so ugly. And some of the most beautiful women too. And so many clients of mine that I'm like, they walk in, I think they're like, wow, beautiful, and they think they're ugly. So even when you're beautiful, the Sheker Chen will think you're not beautiful and make you chase after trying to make yourself more beautiful, and oh my gosh. Only truth of godliness is beautiful. Everything is just whatever. It's facade. And Malchus Shebetiferes, 4 times a day I will act to introduce a state of harmony, balance, and beauty into an otherwise neutral or chaotic system of elements or relationships. Try your best to merge beauty of your behaviors in balance with the world and in harmony of bringing kindness to the world. That's it. That's royalty. Everything else, bye-bye. Anyway, we'll just stop here and do a sweet meditation of being beautiful in the eyes of Hashem by being beautiful with your kindness, with your self-denial, so that you can give more, a little bit, with your splendor, with your truth, and just use all of these spheres. See yourself royal, beautiful because of what you do, and also because what you don't do. That makes you beautiful. See yourself then having the strength to be compassionate toward others, because you really aligned yourself with the truth and beauty of what is within you. And see like this magnificent, like royal entryway. And it's really, you're walking toward the most beautiful outward looking place, but it's all symbolic of your outward behaviors that is manifest in the world as like a beautiful masterpiece or architectural beautiful homes like we saw today on our way here. Imagine that. You look at a beautiful building and it's like, wow. On the water, it's stunning. Like the architectural work is beyond, like, how could someone think of that and make such a masterpiece? But yet, you yourself are in the process of constructing the most beautiful masterpiece. By every act of kindness, every act of compassion, every act of goodness. Tiferet. Take a moment and ask Hashem, let all my ways be beautiful. May all my ways be filled with compassion, especially with the little ones, especially with my husband, and especially with myself. Please, to be free from all that, to feel beautiful inside and out because of my beautiful ways. Blessings for an amazing week, and I know like Shavuos is around the corner. I have many Shavuos classes. I'm inviting you to go on there. But one thing, just one message. When the Torah was given, there was no echo. Reminding us that sometimes we do a deed and we don't necessarily see the payback time for having been kind or have been compassionate to our child or to our husband or to whoever. And like, it's not bouncing back. We're not seeing the result of our effort. But trust me, oh my gosh, so many people are telling me that they've been doing it and now they're seeing their results. Eventually, they see their results. And there was just some woman calling me, says she read this marriage, but this is what you've been saying to me all along, and it's exactly what you're saying. And she has like 3,000, I don't know, or more, or I don't know how many she writes in her book, just be kind, this is a different book. I remember many years ago I said, my sister told me about a book. This is a totally new book, recently published, and she's saying that just be kind, compassionate, be respectful, dote on your husband. You know, she talks about, her success. And she never sees men. She refuses to see men. She just counsels the woman. And major success with many people who are going to get divorced. Anyway, so keep being beautiful, compassionate, and you'll get the results. It might not come right away, but it will eventually, please God. Love you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Bye. And remember, keep shining by smiling.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.